good morning, everybody. This video is going to be a little bit of a tangent from what we normally talk about, but it still applies to company culture and leadership. And I think it's really relevant because it has to do with something I am experiencing at the moment. I want to talk about customers, happy customers and customer complaints, and how you handle that as a company. Recently, I had a situation. It wasn't recent, actually. It's been going on for about 2 years now. But I finally got to a point where I was no longer willing to deal with the repeated problems and decided to escalate a problem to management. Here's why it's important when a customer wants to do that. If you don't allow a customer to actually get to the upper levels of management to report a problem, as leaders, you will never know where the failures are within your company. And as leaders, you should always care. Of course, you want your lower levels of management to handle things if they're one-offs. But when you have repeated problems, you as leaders need to know about them so that you can handle them. Unless you truly don't care, which speaks a lot about your company. But a very big piece of the puzzle that most owners, leaders, and decision makers in companies don't necessarily think about it, especially if it's smaller companies, sometimes in larger companies as well, is that one unhappy customer is actually worth 700 times as much to you or more as a happy customer. With a happy customer, there's nothing that you need to do. They're happy, they'll keep coming to you. They will never say anything bad about you. So on the happy customer front, you're done, you're taken care of. As far as unhappy customers go, most unhappy customers will just walk away. They'll take their money, they'll go someplace else. You'll never know that there was a problem. The one unhappy customer who happens to actually bring a problem to you is valuable because they're representing not only themselves, but they're representing tens, hundreds, possibly thousands of other people who have had this negative experience but chose to not bother putting their energy into helping you fix your problem. They just went someplace else. So when you see one unhappy customer, imagine how much revenue you've already lost before you got to the one person who was willing to stand up and say, hey, I'm open to you attacking me or your people attacking me just to let you know. They care about you and they want to help you. In this case, in my situation, there were several ways that I could have tried to get a hold of the upper management. I chose to go via social network, via LinkedIn. And the reason I did that isn't because their information isn't available anywhere else, but it's because internally when I tried to get escalated, I was told no one beyond the manager level. So they have first line call reps, then supervisors, then managers. And I was told that no one beyond that level would talk to me, listen to me, care about what I had to say. So I knew that if I picked up the phone and called them or sent them an email, it would either go to their assistant who would toss it, or they themselves would get the message and they would ignore it because they've already told me that they're not interested. I actually care about this company enough to let them know how big the problem was and give their leadership one chance to fix it. And a couple things about, I'm looking down because there are notes. This is important that you guys get a lot of information around this, even in this little bite-sized piece. So why use social media? Because that is an outlet where I knew I could get to their management and they couldn't pretend it didn't exist. They could ignore it, absolutely, and just let me walk away. I'm fine with that scenario. Or they could actually look at it. But after having 100,000 plus views and multiple shares of this particular message, they couldn't pretend that it didn't exist. It does exist and many, many people have seen it. And apparently it's going way farther than I had ever expected. One thing that your customers might not know is that if you have a social media presence as a company at all, your followers will be tagged anytime that your company is tagged. Who generally follows a company? It's the people who like them and who enjoy their product. It's the happy customers that follow companies. As soon as I tagged this company, I knew that many of their followers would see it. And so, of course, I started getting responses of, oh, this company is amazing. Look at what this company did for me. They took such great care of me. You really need to ignore those messages, not because they're not valid. I have no doubt that those customers are incredibly happy and have gotten everything that they needed, but because those are the happy customers. You don't need to do any of them and to do anything in order to retain them as customers. They're already happy with you. What you need to look at is how many people forwarded that message, how many people disagreed with the happy customers. Did anybody share other similar experiences? And the funny thing was, I know this video is going a little long, but the funny thing was that one of their customers, actually several of them, said that they should use that as an advertising ploy. Bad idea. Bad idea, because the only people who are, I think there might have been 50 comments, over 100,000 views, only 50 comments. Not all of them were happy customers, but clearly there were going to be happy customers on there. I tagged the company. Those happy customers were instantly notified and jumped to the defense. So as leadership, when you see something like that, I want you to take it seriously. I want you to look at it and see how it is that you're responding, because your response will say everything to the market. And your response will tell your employees everything that they need to know about the kind of people that they have running their companies. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy and take care of your people.